Good morning. It's Wednesday, January 6th. I've talked about being in grad school at Iowa. One of the things they required for graduate students in the art department there was to take a minimum of 8 credits outside of art and art history. This was for specifically the MFA degree. And I think it was more or less to prove that you could hold a conversation on some other subject beside your own art. I didn't disagree with it as a requirement, and I ended up taking 3 different classes taught by Iowa Writers Workshop professors. Keith Williams, who I've mentioned, he was getting straight A's in Japanese language. David Dyke was getting straight A's in feminist literature classes, where he would be the only man in the room and putting up a argumentative fight with the professors in a good way. One of my favorite assignments from one of the classes, a class with Mr. Klaus, was one that I sort of recommend as an exercise just to anybody, and that is to say, the first paragraph of your autobiography. If you were going to write your autobiography, what would the first paragraph be to catch people's attention, to get them a sense of, who you were? And the professor was brilliant in that he included 4 versions of his own. And I recommend the 4 versions because you can obviously spin it. One can be deadly dull, one can be sort of maudlin, one can be flip and cheerful. He had had this odd childhood where his parents had died when he was very young, and he had been sort of pushed from aunt and uncle to aunt and uncle. And I say pushed because what would happen is, his parents died, some aunt and uncle dutifully took him. Within a couple of years, one of them died, so the survivor wasn't in a position really to, continue fostering. And so he moved to a different aunt, uncle, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. He went to a lot of funerals, and he was running out of aunts and uncles. And you can spin that to being, cursed, but he spun it to being bulletproof. Everybody else was fragile and dying, and funerals were no big deal for him. And anyway, it was a great way to spin it, and it's a good exercise for each of us as you know people. How do you spin your life? Try it. Have fun with it. Have a good day.